Hi, everybody. Alida Zweidler-McKay with Engaging Leadership, where we're all about helping you find and land that next promotion or next job opportunity and build up the internal executive presence and the engaging leadership that makes all that possible. I wanted to talk to you today about what you can do to get over disappointments in your career. And this topic came up because I was speaking to someone last week. A gentleman got on the phone with me for a breakthrough call who had unfortunately lost his job back in May. Now, this was January when we were doing the call. And in that time, I was about the third or fourth, maybe fifth person that he had chosen to tell about being laid off. His wife knew, of course, and a couple of family members, but beyond that, he wasn't telling anybody, not even some of his family members, because he didn't want them to worry, because he was worried about what people would think about him. So I want you to just imagine that for a minute. From May until January, he really didn't have anyone to talk to about his situation except for his wife. And the amount of self-doubt that he was experiencing, the amount of disappointment in the career, where he was in his career, you could just feel it in the conversation. And it was such a relief for him to have somebody to talk to about it, because he had been holding all that in and managing all of that pretty much by himself, and basically keeping it a secret from just about everybody except for a couple of his closest family members. And that really got me thinking about the cost of self-doubt and also the triggers to it, like why that happens. Anytime your career isn't going the way you want it to, whether that's a layoff like this guy experienced, or you're in a job that feels like it's not a good fit and you feel bad about it, or you're in a role that feels like it's not quite where you want to be in your career, or you got passed over by a promotion, whatever it is, when your career isn't going the way you want it to, it's really easy to turn that back in on yourself and to start to feel self-doubt, to start to feel disappointment, to start to feel some shame about it. And the problem with that is that, that self-doubt and that shame becomes a vicious cycle where not only are you having the experience of the lower energy and the concern about how you're going to spend your day and the worry about whether you really fit into this career and this job, all that questioning that you do for yourself and all the energy that takes, the sleepless nights, the worry about money, the worry about your future, the worry about what's going to happen in your career. All of those feelings can really take over and become like this really loud background noise that can get in the way of everything you're trying to do. So if you've ever tried to work in an environment where there's a lot of background noise, like, somebody's jackhammering on the street outside, you know how distracting that can be. And that's exactly what's going on inside us when we're in a place where we're full of worry and self-doubt and frustration for not being where we want to be. It's like this constant jackhammering that takes over part of our brain. And the problem with that is that it can get in the way of so much. When we're caught up in those feelings, it gets in the way of our productivity because we're spending so much of our mind space on those experiences. It can get in the way of being able to reach out and find new opportunities and take initiative to go find what's next, because it just is so completely energy sucking that the idea of making some phone calls or getting out there or doing networking can just feel so overwhelming. And who am I to do that anyway? And then it can also get in the way of our being able to make a genuine connection with people, because when we've got that noise going on, it creates a lot of self-consciousness that can interrupt our ability to build rapport, our ability to be really present with people, our ability to really connect with them, which is one of the best ways to land a new job or to find a new opportunity or find a promotion. I've just seen this over and over again, not only with this gentleman that was on the phone with me last week, but with my clients, that when you've got this loud background noise of self-doubt or insecurity, it really can get in the way of like all the different kinds of ways that you could be moving forward in your career and taking action. And so I wanted to talk to you today about some of the strategies that it takes for moving out of that place and being able to get yourself back in motion in your career. One of the most important things to be able to do when you're facing some disappointment in your career, some letdown, is to find a way to clear the feelings around it. So, instead of carrying them all around, there are specific techniques, and this is one of the things I work with my clients on, to move aside those experiences. Sometimes the self-targeting is a way of avoiding feeling angry or frustrated at somebody else. Sometimes there are some real deficiencies in skills that we feel bad about that we could take a look at and move through. Sometimes it's really just a matter of taking the space to mourn or grieve that position that's been lost, or that promotion that didn't happen, or that opportunity that fell through. Whatever it is, having the space and having a solid method for moving through it and coming out the other side is one of the first and most important steps that you can take to really make sure you're able to bring your energy into finding out what's going to be next. The next piece is to get a really clear picture of what you want. So if you let go of the self-doubt and you're not hemmed in by those worries, what is it that you really would want for your career? Where do you want to go? What's the contribution that you want to make? Having, again, a real process for discovering that and exploring that and uncovering that can go a long way toward helping you tap into and find your energy for what's next. So instead of looking for the next job as kind of a have to and a slog and something that you're having to sort of fight yourself out of bed every morning to go do, you can get fired up because now you know where you're headed. You know what you're moving toward, in addition to just what you're moving away from. And then the third piece is to have some really clear, specific, intelligent actions that you can take that will help you get to that dream career, help you get to that next role, help you get that promotion. And so having some good strategies that you can follow that are proven strategies that put you into action doing the right kinds of things that will get that next job efficiently and effectively. That's the third part of the leg of the stool. And so it really takes all three of those in order to be able to set aside the disappointments that you've had in your career up to this point and step into what's possible. So again, that's clearing out the bad feelings and the frustration and the noise from what you're leaving behind, getting really clear about what you really want so that you're headed in a forward direction, not just away from or not just trying to fill in for what you've lost. And then the third piece is really having some concrete strategies that you can take that make efficient use of your time and energy so that you can get that next promotion or land that next job. Now, all three of those things are projects, processes that coaches can help with. I help clients with those, and I know lots of other coaches do as well. And I'm here to tell you, you don't have to go through it alone. In fact, it's so helpful to have someone who's guiding you, someone who's got a map for how to move through each of those phases so that you can be taking your career forward. Look, life is short, and there's no reason to stay stuck any longer than you have to. So if you're in a situation where your job isn't quite going the way you want, or you've gotten laid off, or you've not gotten the promotions or not gotten the opportunities that you want, and you feel stuck and stalled and worried and self-doubt and frustration, let's talk. We'll get on the phone for about 45 minutes and we'll talk about where you are in your career and where you want to go. And if I'm the right fit to help you get from here to there, I'll tell you that and we can talk about what that could look like. And if I'm not the right fit, I know lots of great coaches and I'm happy to point you to other resources who I think would be a better fit. Either way, it's going to be a really valuable hour to spend on your career. So book a call at zmcoach.net/call, and I look forward to talking to you. Take care.